The Boston College Eagles take on Duke, and that's going to be a 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff this Saturday. The Blue Devils of Duke are the 5.5 point favorite, totals 52. BC's plus $1.80 for an outright win. We're hitting at 79% in our last 17 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We also won 2 out of our 3 NFL tier premium selections on that site as well. For more information on how you can gain access to this exclusive premium sports betting content, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, Duke successfully covered the number in their season opener against Notre Dame. They did lose the game outright, but they comfortably covered the 21.5. Chase Bryce threw for 259 yards against the Fighting Irish defense. He also ran one in. Eli Pancol caught 3 balls for 78 yards as well, along with tight end Noah Gray, who caught 5 balls for 68 yards himself. Kicker Charlie Ham kept the Devils in the game for the most part, hitting 2 field goals inside of 40 yards. Duke successfully covered the number in 3 out of their last 6 ball games dating back to last season, and that includes marquee covers against the likes of Miami, Florida, and UNC. Now, they are taking on a Boston College team who finished their 2019 campaign winners of just 3 out of their final 9. Now, total-wise, these teams saw their last 4 meetings stay under the posted total. Duke's Week 1 contest against Notre Dame fell well under the total themselves. Give me the Duke Blue Devils minus 5.5 and the under 52 in that contest. Before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for college football week 3. But before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just want to quickly remind you once again that, what do I want to remind you of? My nose itches, sorry. Just want to remind you that we are currently hitting at 79% in our last 17 extra daily picks on patreon.com/BrockPage. We're also victorious in 2 out of our 3 premium NFL tier selections on that site as well. For more information on how you can join in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on, we're going to take a look at Tulsa taking on Oklahoma State. 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff at Boone Pickens Stadium. The Cowboys of OK State, they are laying 23 points, total 66. Now, Tulsa finished their 2019 campaign with a couple of big wins. They were actually victorious in 2 out of their final 3. That includes an outright win over UCF. Now, the Golden Hurricane also successfully covered the point spread in 5 out of their final 8. They were also able to keep it within 19 points in last year's head-to-head meeting with the Cowboys. Tulsa also traveled pretty well last season as well, at least with regards to the spread. They covered the number in their last 5 straight road games. They are taking on an Oklahoma State team who saw 5 out of their final 6 games of 2019 stay under the number. They averaged just 19 points per contest in their final 3 games as well. Just not so sure there's enough points to go around in this one. The Big 12 has also struggled with these smaller schools in Week 1 this season. So with all that said and done, shouldn't be an upset outright victory, but I think they should keep it close. Give me the underdog Tulsa Golden Hurricane plus 23 and the under 66 in that contest. Next matchup, UCF Georgia Tech, 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff at Bobby Dodd Stadium in Atlanta. The Knights of Central Florida, they are the 8-point favorite, total 60. Knights have yet to beat Georgia Tech in its history, 0-3 straight up in their seldom head-to-head meetings. And despite an absurdly potent offensive attack, UCF failed to cover in 7 out of their final 10 games of 2019. Not so great against the spread. They also suffered an embarrassing 3-point loss to Tulsa during that span, where they allowed 34 points in that contest. They're taking on a very tough Georgia Tech team who had a phenomenal come-from-behind victory over the Florida State Seminoles in Week 1. They held the Noles to just 13 points all game, and they also held them to less than 200 yards passing. Now, this rambling wreck defense allowed only 3.8 yards per play against the Noles as well. Linebacker Quez Jackson led the charge with 9 tackles and a critical interception. Curtis Ryan had two. Let's try that again. Curtis Ryans had 2 sacks and a couple of forced fumbles in the afternoon, and Zamari Walton also had 7 tackles and a pass breakup. The Yellow Jackets put up over 425 yards of offense against the very athletic Seminole defense in Week 1 as well. Quarterback Jeff Sims completed nearly 70% of his passes for a total of 277 yards through the air. He also ran it 13 times for 64 yards and a long of 18. Malachi Carter caught the lone touchdown reception through the air, and running back Jordan Mason ran one in on the ground. GT successfully covered the number in 5 out of their last 8 games dating back to last season. And when it comes to the total in this one, Georgia Tech runs the ball a whole lot. Look for them to do a nice job of keeping the ball out of UCF's hands. Their season opener against FSU also fell well under the posted total. So with all that said and done, going to lean toward another underdog. Give me the underdog Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets +8 and the under 60 points in that contest. Next matchup, it is going to be, I'm not sure if it's on the board. No, there it is. Miami taking on Louisville, 7:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff at Cardinal Stadium in Kentucky. Louisville's the 3-point favorite, total 64 and a hook. The Hurricanes are plus $1.10 for an upset win on the road. The Canes took care of UAB in their season opener, holding the Blazers to just 14 total points. The Canes also rushed for over 335 yards in the affair, and they held the Blazers to just 80 yards on the ground as well. Bradley Jennings leads the team in tackles with 6. Amari Carter had 5 tackles, with 4 of them being solo. Blades and Phillips both had pass deflections as well. And when it comes to the offensive side of things, Cameron Harris ran for 134 yards and 2 scores. They're taking on a Louisville team who's quite the offensive juggernaut themselves. Having said that, though, they allowed Western Kentucky, WKU, to rush for nearly $120 on the ground. Western Kentucky was also able to put up 21 points on the Cardinals, and they averaged 4.3 yards per play. Now, total-wise, this dominant running attack of Miami should be able to slow this game down. The Canes season opener stayed well under the posted total. Louisville actually pushed on the total in most markets in Week 1 as well. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean toward another dog. Give me the underdog Miami Hurricanes +3 and the under 64.5 in that contest. And with that, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. Not on our board here, but it is going to be Wake Forest taking on NC State. 8 p.m. Eastern start time at Carter Finley. The Wolfpack's -3, total 52 and a hook. The Wolfpack was decimated by Wake Forest in last year's meeting. The Demon Deacons took care of the Wolfpack by the final of 44-10. Wake Forest also put up nearly 300 yards in the air against the Clemson Tigers in Week 1. They averaged nearly 5 yards per play on the offensive side of things. Taylor Moran caught 9 balls for 93 yards and a touchdown on arguably the best secondary in college football. Jakari Roberson also had 4 receptions for 92 yards for Wake Forest as well. They're taking on an NC State squad who failed to cover the number in their final 6 games of 2019. They also went just 10% against the spread in their final 10 games last year as well. Now, total-wise, when it comes to the number in this contest here, 4 out of the Wolfpack's final 6 contests stayed under the number last season. I also wouldn't describe them as an offensive powerhouse either. Wake Forest Week 1 contest against Clemson also stayed nearly 20 points under the line themselves. Going to lean toward another underdog, keeping it close. Give me the underdog Wake Forest Demon Deacons +3 and the under 52.5 in that contest. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.